We can also do the recording. Our recording start பண்ணிடலாமா?
Yes, yes, yes. So is the screen visible, ma'am?
Yeah. Yes. Akila, could you?
Yeah. Shall we?
Sure, ma'am.
Akila?
Yes, ma'am. I'll start, ma'am. Good evening to one and all present here. I welcome all of you for this webinar on AI-driven remediation for indoor clean air challenge. And I welcome our speaker, Mr. Chella sir, and HR Mohan sir, and all other people from all the organizing units and also the participants. Now I request HR Mohan sir, Chair, Events, IEEE CS Madras, to welcome the gathering and introduce the speaker.
Greetings and good evening to one and all. On behalf of the organizing units, Computer Society of India, Chennai chapter, IEEE Computer Society, Madras, and ACM Chennai, I have great pleasure in welcoming our today's eminent speaker, Mr. Chella, members and my colleagues from the organizing units. Other participants joined the meeting through Google Meet meeting platform and those watching the YouTube streaming. Pollution, in particular, air pollution has become a topic of concern. At the unseen dangers of our supposedly safe environments. The smart technologies that monitor and manage indoor air quality turns our living spaces from hidden health hazards into bastions of well-being. This presentation will also discover AI-driven solutions that not only predict but actively improve the air we breathe indoors. So it is better to take action on it because our health depends on the air we can't afford to ignore. Highlights of the research opportunities and challenges that will open doors to new opportunities for young scientists and startup entrepreneurs will also be discussed in the video. Now, let me formally introduce our eminent speaker, Mr. Chella, a graduate from Anna University in Computer Science and Engineering, received his master's in software systems from BITS Pilani. While doing his undergraduation, he received the Young Scientist Award for architecting a disaster alert system during the tsunami period. Mr. Ram was a support engineer and developer evangelist in Microsoft India during the period 2005 to 2012. As a founder and CEO of Smart Voice Mail, a California-based company, during 2012 to 2014, he developed an AI-based voice mail service which was incubated by Tata Communication. From 2014 to 2017, as an entrepreneur in telecommunication, Mr. Ram had designed a large video wall and video messaging to holograms conference technology. From 2017 to 2020, as a venture partner with MMF Venture Capitals, California, Mr. Ram used to guide the startups and potential entrepreneurs through the investment processes. Few of the notable investments in which he had included himself: Airbnb, MangoDB, Alibaba, Plantier, Actinum, Realmeda, and Exco. At present, Mr. Ram is the CEO of IQI Inc., Austin, Texas, a company involved in building low-cost building health diagnostic tools to assess the indoor air quality, with operations in several countries and serving prestigious clients, including the White House in US. Mr. Ram enjoys and works with the mission to make environmental services are affordable and accessible to all. With this brief welcome note and about the event and also the introduction of the speaker, let me now request Mr. Ram to to enlighten the participants on the subject of indoor air quality and how to manage for healthy living. Over to Mr. Ram, please.
Thank you, sir. And thank you, Komathy ma'am, for inviting me. And thank you, the entire organizing team and the participants. Guys, it's a research meeting. Are we guys having fun learning? Because research is a lot of fun. So if you guys aren't having fun, let me know. We have a lot of interesting problem statements to solve. With that, let me share my screen. And let me start off again, guys. Let's make this a conversational one. Please, like text me, chat with me if you have any questions. I'd like to talk. And Akila, ma'am, if somebody is chatting and if it needs attention, just let me know because I'm in full screen. I may not be able to share the chat box while I'm presenting. Appreciate it. So, can we start, sir? Mohan, sir?
Yes.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
So Mohan sir and Komathy ma'am, this is what happened actually. I'm delivering this lecture from a place called Corona. Can you believe the place? The city's name is called Corona. It was not named after Corona, but this was there for a long time, and this only got popular after COVID. So I was here. My dad called and he was like, "Hey, where are you?" I was like, "Dad, I'm in Corona." My dad was like, "Oh my God, you got sick with Corona?" "No, Dad, I am in Corona." He was like, "So you got Corona?" "No, I am in Corona." So that was it. It took me a while for me to kind of tell him that there is a place called Corona, and I don't think so. He still believes me. So why is air quality important? Okay, we eat food, drink water, and we breathe air. We breathe around 25 gallons of air every day. Our own country, we know the horrors that happen in Delhi. On the left, what you see is a picture. That's the kind of a fog and that's the kind of air quality that exists in Delhi. And it's due to the combination of factors that added to this pollution. But overall, it's because of the crops they burn in Punjab, and it kind of travels around to Delhi and make Delhi that kind of badly polluted. In China, India, these are badly polluted. There are a couple of badly polluted cities in these countries. What happens is when the economy grows fast and when the infrastructure don't catch up is when these mismatches kind of happens. So with that, let me introduce myself. I'm Ram Chella, and I'm the CEO of IQI. Indoor generation is another name what we call our company as. Guys, we are the indoor generation people. What do you mean indoor generation? We live 95% of our life indoors. 150 years ago, let's pick up a tentative timeline, 1850. In the year, around the years 1850, this conversation is interactive, so please feel free to Google if you want as we go along the session. Just see how these houses were. In 1500s, go look at how houses were built. In 500 AD, the houses were very different. If you look at the human timeline, we as humans, we are kind of in this form, we are living like this for over 40,000 years. In this timeline, in the last 100 years, humans have phenomenally moved from an outdoor living to indoor living. And because we live in indoors, what happens? We breathe our own air. We have a home. In the home, we close all the windows. Okay, you cook, you clean, you vacuum, you shower, you sneeze. We do all those indoors. What's the problem, Ram? Yeah, it's my house. I can sneeze. I can cook. What's the problem? But guys, when you cook, there is a phenomenal amount of pollution through particulate and gaseous pollutants, which we will discuss. Okay, fine, Ram. There is this little bit of a particle like pollution that comes out of during a cooking process. I've seen my grandma cook. That's even worse, right? They used to cook in woods and logs, and they used to burn logs of wood during this cooking process. And I have seen that, and look at now. We are much cooler, nicer with non-stick pans and nice carpets to live. Guys, all these off-gas pollutants. Cooking creates a big amount of particle pollution. Okay, fine, Ram. Like, yeah, they are particle pollution. So what's the problem? The problem is this, guys. You build houses, and the surrounding of the building is called envelope. In Indian language, it's envelope, or however you pronounce it as. In the building envelope, it constitutes of the outer shell of the building, the walls, they become tighter and tighter. You get the problem, right? I really want to understand. I want to make sure you understand the problem, because in research, you need to understand why we are doing what we are doing. So the buildings are starting to be constructed with walls and windows, and they get always closed. And you cook inside, you close all the windows and doors. What happens? All the pollution gets trapped inside the house. They don't go out. You breathe your own particle pollution or gaseous pollutants that you created. We as humans, we are supposed to breathe fresh air. What happens when you don't breathe fresh air? What happens when you breathe polluted air? The particle pollutions go into the lungs, creates esophageal, creates the walls, the walls of the lungs, the trachea, these all gets damaged by these particle pollutions that come out. The gaseous pollutants like VOCs. VOCs is a bunch of chemicals. They join together to call as one bracket called VOC, but formaldehyde is a VOC. Alcohol is a VOC. So these are VOCs. When these VOCs go into the air, when humans breathe, it affects the lining, the walls, and it is a very worse carcinogen. Radon is a very big carcinogen. My point is, we have built the houses, we close all our windows and doors, we pollute our indoor environment, and we breathe and we live inside. And this has been happening for 50 years, guys. For the last 50 to 70 years, this problem is getting worse and worse. So here is my question for you. Why should we keep the building envelope tighter and tighter? Why are we sealing the buildings? Why are we closing the buildings and doors and windows so that things can't get in and get out? Guys, this is an interactive session. Let me ask you, because you need to have a good understanding of what the problem is. Why we do what we do is always important, guys, in research. So ma'am, would people be chatting on the side panel? Or?
Yeah. I've opened the chat box and I've given them also that they will put the queries over there.
That's fantastic. So why, guys, take a question. You feel free to be wrong, but tell me, why are we sealing the buildings tighter and tighter? Think about this. I'll wait for you to answer, but in the meantime, what if we surround inside a glass box, close, and open up a tank of gas inside? You're going to suffocate. This is like no-brainer. You're going to suffocate when you put yourself inside a glass box and you just open up a pollutant source. You're going to die. But knowing that this is very suffocating, why would United States build 500,000 new homes with tighter envelope year by year, every year? Why? I'll wait for you to take a jab at the Q&A. I'll give you a couple of seconds to answer. So while I'm waiting, so let me start answering that. And in case if you still have some ideas, guys, just go to the Q&A and let's make it interactive. So what happens, guys, is energy is a very important problem across the world. We all know that. And when you have a house with the air coming in, air going out, what happens? The air that's bought into the homes needs to be conditioned. Guess where? 30% of, on a typical home electricity consumption, goes in heating the air and cooling the air. Okay. India is a very gifted country. I lived there in the early part of my life, and it is a fascinating country. When you feel suffocating, you can go out, open a window, open your door. This is like, Ram, what's so this? I mean, it is suffocating. I open the window. So what a big deal. Guys, I cannot do that. I live in Texas, where the weather goes up to 110 degrees Celsius during summer. I used to live in Chicago, where the winter goes up to minus 14 degrees Celsius. So when the outside weather is minus 14 degrees Celsius, you go put a glass of water outside your window, it's going to freeze in like few hours or maybe less than that. If you open up a window at minus 14 degrees Celsius, you're going to freeze to death. So you want to build it tighter and tighter, and this primarily for energy efficiency. So under the name of energy efficiency, we are sealing the building envelope. We live inside, we breathe and pollute the air. And we get affected, we get sick, we get asthmas, allergy. And Mohan sir and Komathy ma'am, that I always told you guys I've been into this, but I never really told you why I got into this. And this is the real story. And I want you to know what triggered me to start this company. My sister was pregnant 3 days before her delivery date. 3 days before her delivery date, she moved into a new house. As soon as she moved into the new house, she started getting breathing trouble and allergies. She was taken to hospital, and the baby passed away just 3 days before her delivery date. It was one of the devastating moments. My parents were coming from India. I was coming from California. I had to visit my sister during Phoenix to welcome the newborn. But the whole scenario was different. And all that happened was my sister moved into a new house. That was the pollen season. The pollen, because of the wrong air and environmental quality and HVAC configuration, all the pollens outside was dumping into the home. It triggered the allergies, and she couldn't breathe. That's how bad things can go. As a brother who is in research, I asked myself, if I have a kit to measure air quality and see the health of air that you breathe in the home, an unfortunate incident would not have happened in my life. And if you look at the world, there are millions of deaths because of bad air people breathe. So the problem statement that we are working on is very important. It's only important for people who are breathing. Guess who are all breathing in this call? Pretty much we all are breathing you're all breathing, otherwise we can't stay alive. So this problem statement touches each and every one of the people in the call and in the world. There are two types of pollution, guys. I know I've been talking about homes and envelopes and things. You guys all know about pollution means? Oh, outdoor air pollution. Guys, let me tell you, there are two types of pollution. That's indoor and outdoor air quality. Outdoor air quality, as we all know, smoke, burning, like fuels, like gaseous industries, your typical pollution that you go outside, that you see on roads, that's outdoor air pollution. Commonly vehicle emissions, industry smoke, smog, these are the common things. How do you prevent yourself? You can't go and clean the nation to build large air purifiers, which in fact we are trying to work with a company in Texas, which is trying to make outdoor air purifier. Like you will have pillars in cities which are giant air purifiers. In fact, if any of you guys on the call are interested in building world's massive air purifiers, let me know. I've built air purifiers, guys. I've built air purifiers. I put it in the market. We have sold thousands of units, and I have first-hand experience of designing air purifiers. To make a small air purifier, it's hard. To make a giant air purifier, which can take the pollutants from the atmosphere and sinking it, would be a phenomenal opportunity. Just to repeat, this is outdoor air pollution. So let's write it down. I'm going to ask you guys towards the end of the call. I'm going to ask you what are the research statements that we can work on. Okay, write this down. We can build the world's largest outdoor air purifier. That's so. Let's dream big. Okay, we're not going to make an air purifier is out of question. You guys, I'm pretty sure you guys are the smartest guys, right? Yeah. Let's have that confidence that we are the smartest guys in the world. Let's go build it. Let's go build the world's largest air purifier. Research problem number one. This is what I've been talking, and I specialize in indoor air pollution. This is the least understood subject in the world, because for everybody, air pollution means outdoor air pollution. But research shows that you are living indoors for 95% of your life, and all we know is only the 5% of outdoor air pollution that we kind of exposed ourselves to. That's how much this topic is very less understood. We all, as people, as researchers and faculties, we need to put our minds and efforts not into the research where millions of people are already working on, but let's pick a topic that's less understood, less studied. That's when your research will make a big dent. If you're going to give me yet another thing with a delta performance of 5%, 10%, the world is not going to care about your research. The world is going to care about your research when you bring in things that's less understood. And indoor air pollution is one such least studied topic. Yet, we all humans in the call, I bet we spend 95% of our lives indoors. Can you believe this, guys? I didn't believe this. We all think, oh, such an obvious topic, but no. Before this call and yesterday, I was talking to Mohan sir and Komathy ma'am. They were asking me, oh, Ram, do you have data sets? Do you have prediction models? Ma'am, actually, no. There are a couple of data sets. Don't get me wrong, there are a couple of data sets, but not to an extent of how you have the data sets for outdoor air pollution or any other banking transaction, sales transaction, demographic data. You guys have all great data sets. The problem is you don't have much of sophisticated data sets to work on. Neither the prediction algorithms are available in this space, which gives you a tremendous opportunity for you to do research on something which others have not touched. And if you do something around this would be directly consumed by the governments across in United States, Europe, Middle East, Singapore, India, China. I damn bet that. These all countries have very bad problem with a very big problem with indoor air pollution. And common pollutants are dust, pollen, pet dander, and chemical fumes. What do? You typically put masks, have air purifiers. There are several remediation technologies which we will talk about. So the question, which is a larger problem, guys? Is it indoor air quality or outdoor air quality? Do you want to take a guess? Let's use the chat. Okay. Uday Shankar, great. And CSI Chennai, yeah, you want to, yep. I hear your answer. It's indoor. Okay. Kolaprati, Sri Venkata Harshit. Both are important was his answer. Naman, indoor. Okay. Guys, the answer is both are important, which is a fact. But indoor is less understood, and that's where we spend 95% of the time. We inhale 25 gallons of air as I spoke, and 95% we're breathing that from the indoor air, which is very highly polluted. I'll tell you something, and please continue the chat. Okay, let's all chat and let's continue the chat. I'll ask this question. is, if I tell you indoor air is 5 times more polluted than outside air, would you believe me? Don't believe me. Just type it in Google, use the chat. Let's make it interactive. Yes. Indoor air is 5 times more polluted than outdoor air. That's how bad it is. We all think, oh, my home is good. My home is clean. No, go check online, go check the reading, go check the research, go check the data. We are living in an environment 5 times more polluted. Nature gave us a place to live. We created buildings. We created a solid envelope, and we are struggling ourselves to breathe inside that. And it's 5 times more polluted than what nature gave us. We make all these mistakes and we expect to be healthy, sharp. Come on, guys. We as humans, we breathe we breathe oxygen, right? And from my experience of all these years in this industry, I'm so sad to tell you, 4 out of 5 homes in the country, like United States, I mean, my target market is United States. So that's where I have the majority for the data. But right now we're going through Europe a little bit at Singapore and Middle East. So I might soon have data around those countries. And with this group, we can go get some data for India. And so we can work with establishing some collaboration with Chinese folks to see how we can measure some air quality data from China. So my point is, it's least understood. We don't have much data, and majority of my data would come from United States. And I'll tell you why this is such a complicated topic here as well. So my point is, nature gave us a clean air to breathe. We as humans, our inventions and our envelopes, our thought process, our energy savings is killing us. And 4 out of 5 homes have bad carbon dioxide levels. 400 ppm, approximately 400 ppm is what a typical healthy, what's the outside carbon dioxide is. So when you take in, breathe, and when you breathe out, you're expected to have around 400 ppm in carbon dioxide. But let me tell you, the same room that you are in and taking this session, if you measure, if it's a closed door, if it's a closed environment, you easily will have 800 ppm of carbon dioxide, two times worse than outside air. Okay, you think that's bad, right? 2 times, but that's not the problem. On an average, I've seen carbon dioxide levels of 1200 to 1600, 3 to 4 times worse than outdoor environment. You drive a car, you guys, these are shocking statistics. Komathy ma'am asked me to present something about models and things. Guys, there are like Googles and ChatGPTs of the world. You can get all these data. I'm here in this session to tell you what ChatGPT cannot give, the real world experiences and the problems you have in the industry. Theoretically, the world looks nice, guys, but practically, we put these sensors in real world. And in fact, people don't want me to do this, because when I tell about all these things, when people see their environment is bad, what they do, they go and ventilate the homes. When they ventilate the homes, all the air that's brought in the home needs to be conditioned. The electricity consumption will go up. Already, the country's electricity grids are maxed out. So if all people are aware and they started opening the windows and doors, probably the electrical grid of the country and the world could collapse. It's that big of a problem. As I told you, India is a very, very gifted country. If you are suffocating, you can open a window or door throughout the year. We cannot. My friends up in Canada, they are sometimes in minus 30 degrees Celsius. Minus 30 degrees Celsius is where we live. So we have to surround ourselves with homes that are tighter. Okay, so here's the thing. The same thing, the question that Dr. Mohan and Komathy ma'am asked me. So this is what I'm going to ask you. Guys, is this indoor air pollution is that very least understood and most impactful problem in the world? In fact, yes. please, as a research, it's not the research the problem statement, but as a friendly research, just go look at how well indoor air quality is studied. Okay, so here is some question. Let me take a question in a bit, but I have a couple of more points to share with you before I take the Q&A. So this, long story short, indoor, outdoor, both are important, but indoor is least understood. As a researcher, I will put my effort on a least understood topic so that my research becomes very important. You do a research, your output needs to impact people's life. That's what your researchers need to think. This is a common architectural diagram of how an air quality diagnostics platform would look like. Very simple, guys. On the bottom left is the basic sensors: dust, VOC, CO, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide sensors. And on the top left is the connectivity modules. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth are the two super common connectivity platforms that exist for common man. But the wide area network, LoRa's of the world, LTE cellular modules, those are common as well. But for cellular, you have to pay every month to keep the connection active. But for Wi-Fi, you get hooked onto people's network, home network or office network, so you don't have to pay for internet. But if you want to keep it, if you're keeping the sensors outside and where you do not want Wi-Fi access, you have to go with cellular, where you incur monthly charges. Your team, Mohan sir asked me to cover something about the cost, because cost is important. I can say, hey guys, work on this important problem. It only takes $1 million to set it up. Okay, guys, that's not going to work, right? So I want to tell you about the cost. Cost is very affordable. These systems in Chennai, Ritchie Street, I'm pretty sure it is still there. I came to India 4 years ago. I've been out of touch with India for over 20 years. But when I was in India, I think Ritchie Street is a fantastic place where we get all components from. And so do in Bangalore, we have a similar area. And these sensors are super widely available with today's e-commerce. It's all super widely available, guys. The PM sensors, CO2 sensors, these cost like 200 rupees, 300 rupees. It's not very, very expensive. But when you go for industrial grade, it's expensive. But for research, you can start with the common sensors, which are good enough. And if you want some sensors to play with, please approach Komathy ma'am or Mohan sir. I have some free air quality devices. My devices cost around 20,000 rupees in Indian money, but I can send a couple of devices for free for you guys to play around. Just feel free to open it and play with it. I'll be happy to contribute to your research. And this air quality system later connects with your smartphone. Obviously, you guys are smart researchers, and I don't have to really explain this diagram. This is almost like a 101 diagram that we guys have handled. So air quality systems talk to smartphones, smartphone connect to cloud, and the data is collected on the cloud, and we do machine learning on top of it. LTSM, we kind of do these basic LTSMs and things, but as I told you, we have a different problem. It's not about the models and predictions. I'm pretty sure that in your other research topic, the models and predictions, you go big. You go big on models and predictions, but our industry has a lot more bigger problem than models and prediction. Because if you go to a regular research and just go type it, probably you can work on the subject, but that's not probably the world wants. My world has this problem, guys. Okay, I'm going to show it in a bit, but let me explain to you what the gaseous pollutants are and particle pollutants are. Two types of pollutants, guys. I'll quickly touch on this: gaseous and particulate. Particle pollution is things suspended in the air. And the things that are suspended. Basically, if there's a dust, it is in the air. That's a particulate. It's got a particle pollutant category. That comes under particle pollutant category. And other type of pollutants are gaseous. Gaseous means carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, formaldehyde, VOCs. These are gaseous pollutant. Why this category? Okay, let me stop sharing my screen and let me see if you guys get this right. Okay, why is this category? Why is air quality pollutants are categorized as gaseous pollutants and particulate pollutants? What is the difference and why they have categorized it that way? Any ideas? In the meantime, let me go and look at your Q&A. And Krishna, yeah, suffocated indoor when compared to outdoor. That's a good point, Krishna. Komathy ma'am has a great question. Reserve that, ma'am. People need to know the purpose of air conditioning systems. We all think air conditioners purify air. No, air conditioners condition the air. It is a way, it's air comfort system. It's not air health system. Like 100 years ago, when HVAC was introduced into the world, it was considered as a health system. Now it's not a health system. It's a comfort system where it heats or cools down the air. Okay, guys. In fact, it can take and good air and air. Remember, guys, an air conditioner can take air inside the system, and when it processes, it ends up in polluting it sometimes and pushing it out. Another very, 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 very big problem. In fact, this is what we are working very big on this. There are air conditioners, and air conditioners are in the basement or outside, or on the top of rooftop. Or there are several places where you can install air conditioner, up on the wall, anywhere. But the air conditioner, how does it supply air throughout the building? Through something called ducts. Air conditioner conditions the air, then pushes the air through the duct, and it comes out for you for ambient cooling or heating. The duct, you'll be very, very, very shocked. If I remember the statistics right, 70% of the schools in America have not done duct cleaning, air duct cleaning. Your air that you are conditioning is taken through ducts. There is nobody who has cleaned those ducts in 30 years. What does that mean? That same dust and all the crap that's settled in the duct, those are the duct that conveys, that takes the air that you breathe into your lungs. Okay? It's very, very pathetic, guys. And we as humans, we don't even know why this has happened. We have it. This is the least understood topic. That's what bothers me to get into it. Okay, so there wasn't an answer, but I'm going to answer this. The way you solve particulate pollutants is you keep a filter, you push the bad air through, and all the particles will be filtered through a filter. And you can have the possibility of clean air on the other side. That's particulate pollutants. That's why those categories of things where you filter and get a fresh air to breathe, that's particle pollutants. But for gaseous pollutants, you keep a filter, it will not be filtered. You put carbon dioxide, you push it through a filter, 100% of the carbon dioxide and the polluted side will come on the other side. That's called gaseous pollutants. Okay. This is where I want you to kind of pay some little attention if you guys are interested in this field. Me and your organizing team, we will talk about some models and predictions. And I was telling them that more than writing a model for a data set, which anybody can do these days. Writing models, these are 5-6 lines of code in Python if you use the right libraries and if you have the right data. I don't see that's a big work. We can do it in half an hour. That's not a big thing. But what's a big thing is this. The source of the problem. Nobody gets to the source of the problem. I'm pretty sure, Komathy ma'am and like Mohan sir, you'll resonate, right? You go to a doctor. Okay, guys, remember this. This is for your life. And this is why I ask you to be healthy all the time. You go to a doctor. You tell him, I have a headache. He will give you medicines to fix headache. You go to a doctor and say, I have stomachache. He will give you medicines to relieve the pain or to put a Band-Aid to fix to address the symptoms of a stomachache. Both are wrong approach. And this is the condition of your medical industry, not just your medical industry, our medical industry. They don't fix the source, guys. They don't fix the source. They fix the symptoms of your problem so that you don't get the pain and you think the problem is gone. Your problem is not gone. You need to, if you want to fix your health, you need to fix the source of the problem. Likewise, air quality industry in the world is suffering from this, guys. It's a very, very sad thing. There is no diagnostic tools that can tell you where is the source of the problem. Whether is it coming from kids' room or basement or roof? Is it coming from kitchen? What are the pollutants? What are the different categories of the pollutants? And what is the source of the problem is the least understood subject today. If you have an AI algorithm which can predict the source of the problem, I will personally fund that research. At the end of the day, you can give me a pseudocode or you can get me a crappy version, working version of a prototype. I'm still happy. But if you have a method to find out the source of the problem, that's a great research problem to work on. This is the second research problem we discussed. I hope you guys are writing it down. I'll ask you to kind of paste it on the chat, and we're going to go over this at the end of the session. I didn't come to the session to just give you a lecture and go away. I'm here to explore the opportunities to work with you on a research problem. That's why I came into the session. And I know Komathy ma'am for over 20 years. And I just realized that I knew Dr. Mohan for over 20 years. In fact, at 1 or 2 years more than I knew Komathy ma'am. So again, let's try to build some useful research which can contribute to a great health of humans. Okay, Ram, all these things, how much is it affecting humans? Let me tell you, 25% of the disease burden in the country, United States, is because of the environment people live in. 25%, let me repeat, 25% of the disease burden index is because of the environment we live in. Okay, let's speak about the remediation in a bit, and let me quickly pick up some Q&A. Guys, to fix it, you have only four ways known to mankind today: filtration, purification, humidity control, ventilation. Okay, very simple, guys. If you have dirt in the air, what do? Filter. If you have pathogen in the air, like COVID, what is COVID? I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys know about Corona and COVID more than I do. Germs spread through air, that spread through air. And the way you do that is by purification. How do you do purification? By UV, ozone. These are the ways you kind of purify the air. Number 3, humidity control and ventilation. Let me pause here. Let me go into the Q&A mode. What is humidity control? Why is it important? Let me start off with this. What is humidity control and why is it important? Let's use the chat to talk. And Nanman, basically VOC is volatile organic compound sensor. VOC means volatile organic compounds. It's a bunch of chemicals put together under that category called VOC. Formaldehyde is a VOC. Alcohol is a VOC. And there are several VOCs in the world. You can just type it in Google. It'll give you a list. I don't want to go over this, but VOC means volatile organic compound. Dinesh, absolutely. Yes, I saw your question. We at IQI are fixing PM 1.2, PM 2.5, PM 10, temperature, humidity, dew point, carbon dioxide, VOCs. These are some of the things we kind of track. It's a good question. And please, if anybody wants to do research, submit your research one-pager. I don't believe in long writings, guys. You should be able to convey what you think in one page. If it's not, then you need to rethink about how you talk. Send me a one-pager to Komathy ma'am on why you need a device. I can send you one of our research devices to you guys to play around if you are interested in doing something on indoor air quality. Okay, so guys, humidity. Let's talk about humidity. Type 4. What is humidity? Why is it a problem? let's use the chat. Okay. Let me tell you this. Humidity means the moisture in the air. When the moisture, because we as humans, when we live in the outdoor environment, our lungs can only take certain humidity. Plus, your building. If you have a high water vapor content in the air, in the inside air, and what happens? There will be mold in the wall. Okay, the walls get fungus if there is moisture in the air. And if the moisture in the air sticks to the wall, make the wall moist, there is fungal growth. There will be fungal growth on the wall. It's called mold. And mold emits something called mycotoxin, and it's very bad allergen. Ventilation. When it suffocates inside, which means that too much of pollutants are trapped inside the indoor space, the gaseous pollutants, like carbon dioxide level has gone up, or maybe, maybe you just, your carpet that you got was off-gassing. And if you don't know off-gassing, please type it in Google. What is off-gassing? Off-gassing is we people like we go to furniture shop, we get good furnitures, good carpet, and all those things. Guys, all of these emit VOCs. The paint and varnish are the worst culprits. I don't want to name. In my field, we don't name companies. It's against our ethics. I can't name a company, but there is a paint company where you can put there was a research done where you can apply paint on the wall. If a human lives inside the room for 2 days, if you take a blood test, there will be these carcinogens and pollutants of the paint in his blood. Okay, guys, if you are living inside a polluted environment, I can take your blood and show you that your pollutants have found a way inside your bloodstream. Then all of the people complain, oh my God, I took care of my health so much. I got cancer. I don't even know how I got cancer. That's because you are breathing cancer all your life. It's worse than cigarettes, guys. We all think, oh, cigarettes and vehicle smoke and industrial smoke. We are in a very big problem. The third research topic of today that you can work on, where you can submit your one-pager to your team, is how would you use AI in air quality remediation? My dad always tells me, don't give a man a fish. Teach a man how to fish. You feed him for your life. The one thing I like about the Anna University Guindy while I was there is teachers point you in the right direction and ask you to explore. I had fantastic teachers. Narayana Swami, Manjula ma'am, Geeta ma'am, RP ma'am, and Komathy ma'am was at that time working with the ex-dean of Anna University Guindy. We had amazing teachers who guided us. And here's what, I can feed you with some AI. I'll point you in the right direction, but please do some research. And if you want to proceed in this direction, there is very big opportunity. In business, I have booked $30 million worth of sales in 3.5 years. I'm a pretty good businessman, I guess. I basically, you guys ask, right? Komathy ma'am asked, like researchers, research, we get research grant, we do research, we submit IEEE. Okay, what's our lifestyle? No, guys, I know Komathy ma'am ever since she was doing her PhD. I am a researcher. I did a research in air quality, packed it as a product, sold it in the market, and booked from $0 to $30 million worth of sales in 3.5 years. What's $30 million? was 240 crores, something like that. So my point is, you researchers think differently. I didn't come to this session to just tell you what ChatGPT can say. Guys, we are all smart. That world is gone. If somebody is still thinking that information is something that what public information can be just put it in a presentation and that's why people spend their time on listening, actually it's not. Everybody, I mean, probably ChatGPT has a better way to tell than me. But what's important in these kind of sessions is to tell you what are the different possibilities, break your mental barriers, and to rethink about your life. You guys have a very, very responsible position. You know what's my favorite line in this environmental industry? It is an opportunity, but it's also our responsibility. This is a good business opportunity to do, and it's a good business opportunity, it's a good research opportunity. But we can't do this looking at the opportunity. There's nothing wrong in it. But guys, it's a responsibility. If we pollute the environment we live in, how are the next generation going to breathe? Already in our lives, we have started wearing masks. We've had this terrible life of wearing masks for over a year and getting isolated, all because of the airborne pollutants, guys. Airborne infections and pollutants froze the economy, put all of us in trouble. We lost so much of our loved ones. I had an employee, the dad got COVID. He was taken to hospital. They didn't even return his body home. The girl who worked for me, she was my testing lead. She saw her dad walk out of the home with a COVID infection. He never returned back. He walked out in 2 legs. He was gone and to a hospital, and he never came back. His body was gone. I mean, he was burnt. I mean, you guys know this better than me. That's in India, the scenario was even more aggressive. So, and so many deaths. If India gets an airborne infection, millions of people will die. Millions of people will die. And especially when you're in a closed space, breathing the same air which others are exhaling, you're going to get infection. And especially a billion plus population in a small country like India, guys, if something goes wrong with air, our quality of the country will go down. And yet I'm telling you, there is no research done there. And we researchers, come on, it's our responsibility to do research around this. And it's my responsibility. If you do some quality research, it's my responsibility to kind of take that and probably I can put it into my product and scale it across the world. United States, top 5 out of 10 largest AC distributors are my customers. All are using my invention. So the same person like you, I come from the same research group as Komathy ma'am. And I did a research, I prototyped it, I made it into a product, I sold it in the market, and 5 out of 10 largest AC distributors in the country, they make billions of dollars. I think the poorest guy in that distribution probably make 8,000 crores revenue every year. That's probably the smallest guy in that batch. So the problem is very, very big, guys. It's human health, environmental health, climate change. And again, please do this research. Please, whatever I'm showing now on the screen, do that. Go check if I'm saying the right things. 1 in 3 adults, that's 33% of the people in the country have respiratory and allergy related issues. We have 350 million population. Guys, 100 million people in this country where I live in has this issue. As I told you, India is a very, very gifted country. We just don't realize it a lot of times. You guys have great natural resources, great people. Because of the good weather we have, you can open up your windows and doors. It didn't become as bad as US. But already you and me, we know we are already, in my home, obviously majority of our homes, we have centralized ACs these days. And we are all trapping ourselves into bad air. What I spoke, 1 in 3 was adults. Look at the condition of 1 in 4 children. You're building this country. You are building this country and you're building this world where 25% of the kids who are born today are born with respiratory, eventually acquire respiratory allergies. 1 in 4. And you call this, children, these children are the future of the country, but come on, 25%, we are making them sick. And then later, oh, youngsters today don't pay attention. We humans should breathe oxygen, guys. They are breathing carbon dioxide. I have a sensor network across the country. I have 2 million data points I get every day. I'm telling you, carbon dioxide is worse. Carbon dioxide is a very worse problem, especially in a trapped envelope environment. And guys, basically, we as humans, when I say the carbon dioxide level is 4 times, which means that we are, instead of breathing in like 3 out of 4 carbon dioxide, oxygen, we are breathing in carbon dioxide. Okay, if you put a diesel on a petrol car, how would the petrol car run? So instead of putting oxygen into your body, you are breathing in carbon dioxide, and we will feel sluggish. Because that's not an optimal, like a metabolism we can have with the carbon dioxide. So it's a very big problem, guys. And these are the data sets that you could use currently. Unfortunately, we have some NDAs with large distributors, so our data cannot be shared outside. But if you end up in signing a research agreement, an NDA with us, I can definitely open up some of my research, research data sets to you, for you guys to work on. But these are the public data sets you can work on. Lot of data sets actually do exist for outdoor, but there do exist some indoor data sets, which is good enough for you to start. But more than predicting the quality, because we as humans, if we cook barbecue, if we clean, it's going to get polluted. So there's no point in predicting the air quality. Just to clarify, predicting outdoor air quality is very important, but predicting indoor air quality is not a very important topic. But for indoor air quality, finding the source of the problem and giving recommendations on the solution are the 2 big research problems. And I currently have openings for all of the researchers and faculties across the world to work on these 2. And I wanted to wrap my topic up with a very big thing that we are doing. But in the meantime, let me see if I have some Q&A. Oh, guys, did I bore you so much? There's no Q&A? Or did I confuse you so much? Biosensors for viruses. Komathy ma'am, that I would love to work on that. The accuracy, I work with a company called Sporocyte, and they make AI-powered diagnostics devices to a microorganism level. So by the way, it's a great question. I just want to take a minute to answer Komathy ma'am's question, because it's something that you guys all should know about this. There are biosensors, bioluminescent sensors, and ATP sensors and things, which falls under these biosensors. The accuracy is a little bit challenging, and for humans to agree on, at least maybe it is right. I think that the common man still kind of have this apprehension on these biosensors. And also, in my practical experiences, I have seen some accuracy issues with biosensors. But with all AI and research, if you affordable biosensors, there is a very great future for it. Thank you, Komathy ma'am, for asking this question. Otherwise, it's a very important question our researchers need to know. Dinesh, I would love to talk to you. Absolutely. And guys, my email address is right there on the chat. Dinesh, please pick it up and shoot me an email. And guys, I'm a very open guy. In fact, that's my personal cell phone number. Hit me up. That's my WhatsApp number. Send me a WhatsApp note. I'll probably create a group of all the researchers who want to work on environmental related stuff. Dinesh, I got your email as well. I'll send it to you. I'll send you an email later today. But do text me on WhatsApp. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. So why should we work with Ram Chella, right? Why should we work with Ram Chella? Like, who is he? Yeah, we just came. Komathy ma'am invited us. He just came and talked. What is he doing? What impact can he make? Yeah, apart from the fact that I'm a research guy like you. 10 years or 20 years ago, when I was in studying in Anna University, Guindy, I started off my life as writing research, not even writing research papers. Gomuthi ma'am and we had like a bunch of research PhDs working with our dean, our ex-dean of Anna University, Guindy. And I used to work with research assistants and researchers, and I was working to just take their ideas, prototype it, help them write papers, and submit it. I didn't even take the credit for the first few papers I wrote. But eventually, one of the professors, one of the lecturers, they told me like, "Hey Ram, I think that was a great work. Let me give you a credit." So that's when I happened to I was like purely helping people with research because that's fun. So and then my fun became real research down the line, and real research became real prototype. Real prototypes became started to ship. These products that got shipped started to make people's life better. That if you as a researcher think every research that you do should impact and positively change millions of life. We are researchers and we have responsibility. And I've done this exactly from your own community, man, our community. I belong to your community of research. That's where I started. And I've already touched millions of lives. And I want you guys to think along the directions of impacting millions of lives. And that's why I gave you my email and WhatsApp as well. So there's always time for quality research, but yeah, do let me know if you have some quality research that you can do in the three problem statements I discussed. So why should you guys listen to him? I lead Indoor Generations White House Clean Air Challenge PPP program, the private public partnership program. My mission is to build 10 billion square feet of clean indoor space for humans to live. I don't know how many people are in Tamil, but எங்க வீட்ல வந்து என்னோட family got affected because of air quality. இது என்னோட family, I asked myself, if I had a device, if I can build a clean air space to live, me as a brother, I couldn't even give a clean space for my family to live. And I felt so bad as a researcher, and I felt so responsible. That's why I came into this. It's not because of money. I run a software business where I make money. So this is completely my passion to change the world, to build 100 billion square feet of clean indoor space for humans to live. To do that, I personally, I don't know if Komathy ma'am or Mohan said it, I don't know if I told this to you. I've spent $1.2 million over 9 to 10 crores of money on building these diagnostic sensor platforms. And I took over 2 to 2.5 years to build that. And I spent that money. And I've taken all my research and I'm licensing this to any manufacturer who wants to manufacture diagnostic devices currently, but eventually we will be adding future research on remediation devices as well. We have the sensor platform powered with AI, done in $1.2 million over 2.5 years. I'm giving away everything for $1 a year for anybody who can manufacture this, because my job is not to make money. My job is to give you my research and help you make these devices so that kids of today, women of today, pregnant women of today, they can be sure they are growing their kids in a good environment, at least a clean air to breathe, guys. That's a basic human right. We as researchers, come on, what if we can't even provide a clean air to breathe for humans? Come on, what are we doing? And also, along with giving away my research for $1, we are also creating an open source air quality screening protocol and a community where I have built a protocol on how you can test an air quality, because everybody are not aware of the subject, right? So what I do is I create a protocol and teach people. When you go into a house, I created the protocol on how to test an air quality inside a home. I've created two protocols, three protocols, single point, 3-point, and a 6-point protocol for measuring air quality, which is becoming one of the most famous air quality screening techniques in the United States. And this I'm doing it as a part of my White House commitment. So if you want to contribute to our research or be a part of the community, I definitely welcome you guys. Currently, we are in a much closed community, but I can just open it up in WhatsApp for you guys, so that if you are interested, want to create something around this, you're always welcome. So with that, let me open up for questions. So Mohan sir and Komathy ma'am, did you guys get something useful today? I felt like.
Yeah, it's okay. Yes, we got it. So I will just narrate it while doing the vote of thanks. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Interesting, because as I told you, I was working with air quality. I've given you a very high note on it. Okay, so I went into the government to implement, but it is a model, or it is a device oriented, using the vehicular networking. Outdoor air quality. Okay, again gaseous pollution. So I really did a work, and I tried to approach our governments, but they are not willing to listen. I could submit myself that I don't have the influence. So I was not able to enter that time. So that's what at least the youngsters would come out in this area to give. Yeah, this is okay.
Very true. And I don't know if I'm that influential, but at least I run the White House private partnership program for indoor generation. So I think I have a little bit of an influence. I hope I can do something, I guess.
So participants, do you have any questions directly to put on? You can unmute your mic and then you can ask Mr. Ram. Yeah. Mr. Dinesh, you can ask. Unmute yours and then you can put the question.
Yeah, it was good to listen to you.
Hey, Dinesh,
yeah.
Do you want to ask a question, or you want to type it out?
No, I'm just going to ask you straight away. And did you ever make an attempt to look at the biological load inside a closed building, perhaps? You talked about you talked about particulates, and we are a tech company. Well, I'll give you a background of it so you kind of get a gist of it. We are from Illinois, UIUC, and spin-off. I'm a high energy physicist, an engineer from BITSI. I'm a fellow BITSIan. I'm graduated before you, and we developed systems for indoor pathogen control, infection control in healthcare. Our primary client is U.S. Defense and Israel and Israel Defense, and of course, Indian government is our flagship customer in India. The city of Chennai Metro, every metro train which you travel, when you get to Chennai, every metro station which you enter is using our technology as we speak. So I'm curious to know, how do you address the biological pollutant issue? I mean, we have hardware solutions for it to monitor it real time. The biggest challenge is if you take an air quality sample, you take it to the laboratory, you get the results in 7 days. By the time you lost the opportunity. So to tackle that, we have a backscattering solution where we monitor the biological load real time in a matter of few microseconds, and in a 3D space coordination, and put it on the cloud and just address this problem immediately. So let's chat about it. You have shared your number and email, and I would take it offline and discuss that. So I'm curious, what is your, one of the organizers, I think Dr. Komathy has mentioned about the biosensors in the question marks. And I really appreciate that. And biosensors is the talk of the town now, post-COVID. But I would say COVID is just a wake-up call. There's more to come. and let us work on that space quite actively. And it has to be non-specific, and in a different way. I should rephrase it and say broad spectrum. If you develop a biosensor specific to your marker, ATPs are there, which is surface level sensing, and as you rightly said. But what we have is we are working with the government. It's used for many different applications, Ram, which I will elaborate offline. And
Sure.
I'm keen to explore your kit. That's the other point. So
Absolutely.
$1 a year, yeah. It's so very strong. Thanks.
It's $1 a year is what I have. What the licenses? Yes, I do. I did. I'm issuing all the licenses for $1 a year, so that because manufacturers today, if they want to manufacture a device, you guys know. So the process is you have to make your own inventions, or you have to license an invention, go build it, put it in the market, and plus, on top of it comes a lot more maintenance expenses. So for a manufacturing company to bring an air quality devices or air quality diagnostics devices into the market, it is quite a lot of work. So what we are doing, what I've done through licensing this at $1 is they can build on top of it. I've already wasted time and money on this. So to go waste all this money, so you can build on top of my research.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I'm trying to fast track this industry by kind of giving people, and instead of reinventing the wheel, I'm just giving it away so that they can build on top of it quickly.
Sure, I got it. And we are a patent-rich company. I understand that we have more than 90 patents in the US and more than 15 globally, including India. So I can resonate with that. Maintaining a IP is it's a money putting in the drain if you don't have any.
Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah.
Anyway, so we are not the sensor guys, but I would like to explore further.
Mr. Dinesh, we will take it up in the offline further.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
So thank you so much. Any other question? Any other question from anybody?
Ma'am, Karthikeyan, you has raised a question, ma'am.
Okay, so you please.
His question is, could you clarify on health outcomes through indoor air pollutants at school buildings?
I think if you can could you, Akila ma'am, could you rephrase the question? So he wants to know the outcome or the problems, or you want to know the problems that are due to
health problems. Yeah, health problems.
Karthikeyan, if you are interested in focusing on indoor air quality on schools, please text me. We have a very active community of indoor air quality for schools, very specifically about schools in California, Phoenix, Austin, and Chicago. And from these 4 places, we have parents and industrial hygienists and enthusiasts joining us to learn. Basically, they learn my testing protocol. They go to schools. They actually, a lot of times, I subsidize these devices. I subsidize my devices, and sometimes they just buy it. They go to schools for free, and they do these inspections for free to educate people on air quality. So that's how we're building awareness. And from the data points I've collected from schools, I can tell you they have all sorts of problems. Humidity problem, ventilation problem are humidity problem and ventilation problems are very common problems across the country. And Karthikeyan, you also touched on a very interesting point. And before it's a point that I wanted to share this with everybody as well. Thanks for asking that point. In US is a wide country. Again, India, I keep saying India is a great country, and I genuinely believe it. It's very nicely positioned in the world, and it's in a tropical climate, in a tropical/temperate climate, and it's a very smaller country, so you don't have much of a different problem across India. But if you pick a country like US, north, west, it's all about humidity problem. It rains all the time. In the southwest, it's forest fires. In the south, it is hell a lot of humidity. On the southeast, it's crazy amount of humidity and mold issues. On the northeast, it's red on air pollution. So my point is, if you pick up a country, it's not one solution fits all. I mean, even for school districts, the struggle that we go through is the reason I built a diagnostics platform first and not a remediation device is we need to know what we are solving. Without diagnostics and data, we don't know what we are solving. So that's why I created this diagnostics devices as the phase one. And when I observe, the problems are very, very different. So we now have a diagnostics protocol to specifically go for schools and testing it and educating them. In fact, we have a 8-year-old kid now learning how to measure air quality, and he goes from school to school and raising awareness on air quality. So this needs to be taught. If you are really specific about working on air quality in schools, please reach out back to me. I'll love to talk to you. And Nedumaran, thank you so much. And please do stay in touch, guys.
Any more questions from the participants? Okay, if no further questions, I request our chair, Dr. K. Komathy ma'am, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Kila. Good evening, all. On behalf of the organizing unit CSI Chennai chapter, IEEE Computer Society Madras, ACM Chennai, myself, Dr. Komathy, chair of CSI Chennai chapter, take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. I thank the organizing units jointly arranging this webinar on AI-driven remediation for indoor clean air challenge. We thank our speaker for today's webinar, Mr. Chella, Chief Executive Officer, IQI Incorporation, Austin, Texas, United States, for spending his valuable time with us today to reveal the stealthy threat of indoor air pollution that is infiltrating our homes and offices. He underlined the unseen dangers that loiter in our indoor environments, and he highlighted how we can monitor and combat the smart technologies for diagnostic devices that monitor and defend our living spaces from hidden health hazards. This presentation showcased the some of the public data set that can be used in predicting the outdoor air quality and also indoor air quality. To conclude, Mr. Ram opened up the research challenges in White House Clean Air Challenge project for the young scientists and startup entrepreneurs were discussed, such as outdoor largest air purifier for Indian environment for any other country, AI algorithm for finding the source of the indoor air pollutants, how to use AI in air quality remediation. My heartfelt thanks goes again to Ram Chella, who with his expertise responded to questions raised by the participants offline and online as well. I'm thankful to the participants who joined us in live Google Meet and YouTube's live streaming. I sincerely thank our mentor, Mr. H.R. Mohan, Chair Events, IEEE CS Madras, who introduces notable domain experts to this webinar platform for the benefit of the members. I thank the office bearers of the organizing units who supported this webinar. I hope this session has given a broad scope for the research and startups for the young budding engineers. With these warm words, we move to the end of today's event. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you, guys. Love it. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Mohan, sir. Thank you, again, ma'am.
Mohan, sir, any words, sir?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Please, thank you, ma'am.
It's one of the eye-opening talk,
Yeah, that's it. It's not theoretical, rather it is only a challenging.
Because many things, we take it granted. Basically, that is the problem. And second thing is, how the building contractors, that is the builders, how they have taken this issue, whether they are addressing these issues. That is the one thing which, there are some...
they're running away from the issue because if they address the issue, they need to solve it. The solution is complicated. Then it's become expensive.
Basically, if they can come forward right from beginning, if they can address these issues, we can reduce the impact to a larger extent.
Kandipam.
So
that is why I'm taking all the pain to reaching out to the end users, because the end user awareness is going to push the government and all these builders to move in this direction. Otherwise, they proactively will not move. It needs to come from the people.
Yeah. And many of the, even, if you look at some many of the hotels, big hotels, they call them, they have got the HVAC system, monitoring system. But, it's only to keeping the energy consumption as a main thing.
Exactly.
Actually, their interest is to reduce the cost in running the system rather than creating it. So
I think Mohan sir, I think this is a brilliant point. We are all wrongly incentivized in the world. We are incentivized to solve the energy problem, but we are not incentivized to solve the health problem. I mean, the government should step up, and that's why I'm starting this PPP program where I get to talk with the nations of the world who has implemented the system and ask them to fast track these solutions and enable Dinesh of the world to connect with the rest of the manufacturers, rest of my suppliers. I mean, I have pretty much five out of 10 top distributors in the HVAC space are our customers. We have over 300 duct cleaning companies who are using our technology, and by bridging everyone, I think we can create that ecosystem where at least it self-incentivizes, or at least the government, at that point, we can influence the government to kind of support us. Because without government support, it's going to be really hard, but they won't start this because it's a chaos to start. So it needs to start. The awareness needs to come from the people.
The priority for the government is quite different from this one. So, they try to address the health problem by giving some health insurance and things like that. Make some
Medicines.
Yeah. And that's what, see, now in India, everyone is eligible for 5 lakh health insurance.
Sir, can we stop the recording, sir?
No, but actually, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
But
Please,
these are some realities that people should know.
Yeah, we can stop.
Anyway.
Okay, thank you.
But Mohan sir, I think you're right. Actually, it is. I mean, government should step forward. I think they're starting to listen. I think when people are Europeans are very, very forthcoming about this already. US is starting to, and India, it is kind of a seasonal problem, but they're not very serious. But Delhi is massively affected. I have I have an office in Delhi, so I know what is happening. Shanghai is very bad. China is one of the most polluted cities. But it's wrongly incentivized. I think we have to one thing, guys. I think Mohan told us something very, very important. I think it's a fact that you guys all need to understand. As like entities, like I don't want to name the word government, as entities, what they do is they try to take